What is up, Finn fans? So, after that loss that just happened about 2 hours ago, it ended the game. A whole, excuse my French, shitstorm of things just came flying out of wherever. We will talk about Tyreek Hill and what he had to say. But this came out. This right here from Stephen Ross. No more than 9 minutes ago. Statement from the chairman of the board, managing general partner, Stephen Ross. I want to thank the players and the coaches for their hard work throughout the 2024 season, as well as the fans for their support. You're going to lose that real soon. I'm telling you right now. As the owner of this team, I am ultimately accountable for our success and failures. We fell short of our expectations this season. I understand and share in the frustration in our performance on the field. Bullshit. As we now look forward to 2025, our football operations will continue to be led by Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel with my full support. I believe it's the value of stability. However, continuity in leadership is not to be confused with an acceptance of the status quo is good enough. We will take a hard look at where we have fallen short and make the necessary changes to deliver our ultimate goal of building a sustainable winning team that competes for championships. You're dumb. And if you're watching this, Stephen Ross, I mean that with the most utmost respect on the planet Earth. You're dumb. I'm sorry. One more time. You're dumb. There is nothing that has shown me over the past 6 years that Chris Grier deserves another year. Nothing. We have the 13th pick in the first round. I have no confidence anymore that we are going to take the right player. We'll probably reach for someone like Austin Jackson or Noah Igbenogany. I'm dumbfounded. Just the play on the field today and last week was abysmal. The lack of awareness to build a Fort Knox in front of your immobile quarterback who has an injury history is dumbfounded. The inability to get a viable backup is dumbfounded. And they're coming back. Now, McDaniel, sure. Now, I'm going to talk more about all this tomorrow. I had a whole thing planned for tomorrow. I was hoping and praying from the gods above that I was going to release my video at like 7 a.m. and then a Black Monday at some point we are going to get a news if someone got fired. But lo and behold, I couldn't even get through the night of dealing with the garbage that we saw against the New York Jets. We saw horrible offensive play calling, time management, challenges, play on the field, tackling, blown coverages, just one thing after another of getting mollywopped by the horrible, inept New York Jets to make us look even more horrible and inept. And you come out 2 hours later after watching that, and you tell the fan base who throws money at your organization with tickets, my brain is not working, but tickets, jerseys, tailgating, season tickets, which you, season ticket holders, how do you thank the season ticket holders? How do you thank them? You send them like a manila envelope with some coupons in it. Raiders season ticket holders, they got this box, you open it up, there's a light shining in, you're like, oh, All these other season ticket holders get these fancy boxes and they're delivered by a princess on a carpet. The Dolphins, you get a manila folder delivered to you by the USPS and they whip it at your face and say, here, you idiot. Enjoy another 18 weeks of just misery. And then on top of that, you go out and you give all these things to the social media Dolphin fans. These TikTokers that are have millions of TikTok followers, you give them all stuff. But you got the diehard fans that watch this team every week. They get nothing. Nothing. And you come out here and you tell us to our faces, as the owner of this team, I ultimately accountable for our success and failure. We fall short of our expectations this season. And I understand and share the frustration in our performance on the field. I know how you guys feel, but guess what? I'm bringing them back. We're going to run it back again. Like, you got to be kidding me. However, continuity and leadership is not to be confused with acceptance of the status quo is good enough. Then why are you bringing them back? 24 years. 24 years. Season's over. I don't know why I have this on still. Season's over. 24 years of us not winning a playoff game. And it's because of the mediocrity, whatever, of this franchise. Right here. They did good one year. Hey, we did something. You have to realize when change needs to be made, and then you need to make that change. You have a GM who looked us in the face and said, you're more worried about the offensive line than we are, and your offensive line is shit. And you bring him back. You bring him back. You have a head coach who for weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks watched Liam Eichenberg line up at right guard, crapping his pants, and continued to put him out there and then continued to rotate him in with Isaiah Wynn. You had a head coach who consistently saw plays not working, time of possession not working, timeouts being ruined, and didn't change a thing and decided, I'm going to continue calling plays. Frank Smith, sit down. Darrell Bevell, no, I got this because it seems to be working this year. No change has been made. But you understand that continuity is leadership, and leadership is not to be confused with acceptance that status quo is good enough. You just told us that status quo is good enough by bringing them back. Status quo is good enough because you did not recognize the ineptitude and the shortcomings of the front office. So you're bringing them back. We will take a hard look at what has fallen short. What has fallen short is your GM not building a good enough team and your head coach not making changes and adjustments over 3 years. And make the necessary change to deliver the ultimate goal of building and sustaining a winning team that competes for championships. They haven't competed for a championship in years, in decades. Because you stay here. You don't realize the change. You stay in the status quo. So you bring them back. It's like bringing Crossman back, and our special team unit is dead last in the NFL. You bring Mike McDaniel back. I understand he had 2 really good years, but he has not changed the problem. He has a losing record against winning teams. He beats up on the bad teams and the inept coaches and the bad quarterbacks and realizing, I can pick and match because I'm smarter than these guys. And lo and behold, here comes Buffalo. Smack you upside the head because, hey, kid, you still don't know what you're doing. Oh, here comes the Steelers with Mike Tomlin. Pow, you get smacked upside the head because you still don't know what you're doing, kid. You're a young coach who's inexperienced. But, hey, here comes a coach who's probably going to be fired at the end of the year. I'm going to smack him around a little bit. It infuriating that your fans, guys who have not even an iota of knowledge of football that you should have, or to run a business, know when to make a change. And no change is going to be made. That's what drives me nuts about this statement, not to be confused with acceptance that the status quo is good enough. You are telling us by bringing them back that the status quo is good enough. I told you guys this, and I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to be Mr. Pessimistic Doug. If Grier makes a good move, makes a good draft pick, McDaniels does this or that, or good things happen, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to celebrate it. I'm going to want wins. I'm going to be the same guy I've always been. I'm not going to go down this dark path of being Mr. Negative and this, and that. But I am telling you right now, guys, my expectation for the 2025 season is in the trash. I am not going into the 2025 season with high expectations. I did it this year because we won 11 games. My expectations are rock bottom because you are bringing back a GM who does not know how to build the foundation of a team, does not know how to build a hard-nosed team, and you have a head coach who wants to be finesse. He came out and literally told you, I like my weapons, my skill positions, and my pass rushers. So I'm going to make my videos. I'm going to talk about who I would target in free agency and who I would target in the draft and what I would do with re-signing and releasing players. But I will give you the warning or whatever at the beginning of every video that they're probably not going to do that. But this is what I would do. But it just completely boggles my mind that he says in his statement that they are not accepting the status quo, and you're literally accepting the status quo. And you share in our frustration and performance on the field, yet you bring back the two biggest reasons why the performance on the field was so frustrating. It's like slapping me in the face and saying, I did not slap you in the face. And I will not slap you in the face again. As you then slap me in the face. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. This is bonkers. And then on top of that shit Sunday, again, excuse my French, Tyreek Hill comes out after the game is over and said, I have to do what's best for me and my family. If that's here or wherever the case may be, I'm about to open that door for myself. I'm out, bruh. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for my career. So Tyreek Hill says, I'm out. Deuces. He wants to go. Yet he's the one who's making these cryptic tweets and laughing at us, telling he's trolling, saying he's sick, but he's at his store. This team is it's falling apart. The team is falling apart no more than a little over 2 hours after the game ended, and we're sticking with the status quo. Barry Jackson says, if we try to trade him, his $27.7 million cap hit in 2025 becomes a $28.3 million dead money cap hit if he is traded before June 1st. The Finns would have $12.7 million dead money in 2025 if he's traded after June 1st. I will talk about all this tomorrow. I got a video tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do the year review tomorrow or kind of where do we go from here tomorrow. It's just, but he's gone. Probably not, knowing Chris Grier. But I was going to talk about in this offseason how I would try to trade Tyreek Hill because you have Malik Washington and you have Jalen Waddle now. You don't need Tyreek Hill anymore. But we kind of hurt ourselves by giving him a contract extension. And we kind of hurt ourselves giving Tua Tagovailoa a contract extension a little early. And we kind of hurt ourselves by moving money around, trying to win it all now when the team was never built well enough to win it all now. And you brought back the guy who couldn't build the team well enough to win it all now. Status quo. Hey, at least this offseason is going to be entertaining. Hopefully you ride it with me. If you don't want to watch any more Dolphins, I don't blame you, man. Ask McDaniel if he accepts that type of behavior from a team captain if Tyreek Hill's availability wasn't injury related. I'm not going to get much emotions with emotions. I'm not going to match emotions with emotions. It's a little cloudy in the heat of the moment for multiple reasons. I know that clarity will be found. Essentially, he's saying that in the fourth quarter, Tyreek Hill took himself out of the game. This is a nightmare. Oh boy, oh boy. There is a lot to be talked about. A lot. Which assistant coaches are going to be fired, because we know that's going to happen. Is Anthony Weaver going to be our DC coming back? If he's not, I'd like Robert Saleh, but we'll see about that. Is a lot. I need to wrap my head around this stuff. I need to sit down. I need to write some things down. I need to, do a bunch of research and data and information and yada, yada. So as of right now, status quo is staying the status quo, even though Stephen Ross said that, status quo isn't good enough. So let me know in the comments below. Are you in the same boat as me, or am I overblowing this and am I being a little bit too much hot-headed in the moment? Comment below, let me know. Calm me down. Tell me, Doug, take a breath, relax. It's not that big of a deal. Or if you agree with me, be like, wow, Doug, this is booty cheeks. I'll see you tomorrow. Well, like usual, stay classy if it's up.